Supplier defaults. Applying supplier defaults speeds up the process of entering supplier information when creating new supplier records. You can set default values for various fields associated with a supplier, meaning you don't have to manually enter the same information repeatedly. When creating several supplier records, if similar trading terms have been agreed, for example, payment terms, due days, and settlement discounts, these may apply to more than one record. To save time, enter default data to automatically apply to all new records. You can still amend the information entered on a record-by-record basis. Let's start by looking at how to set default trading terms for your suppliers. From the Settings menu, select Configuration. Supplier trading terms can be applied in the Terms tab. In the Supplier Trading Terms section, the credit limit value defaults to 0. Enter a value here up to 11 numeric characters, confirming the amount of money you can spend with a supplier on credit. The Payment is Due section shows the default number of days allowed before payment of an invoice becomes due. The number of days defaults to 0. Enter a number of days in here, for example 30. Then choose from the options given in the drop-down to calculate the due date. If your suppliers offer you a discount for early payment of an invoice, enter a percentage value here, and the number of days within which you qualify for the discount from your supplier here. Finally, the Terms section enables you to enter a description of the terms agreed. You can enter up to 30 characters of text here. For example, payment within 30 days. The same options are available for customer trading terms. Once you're happy with the supplier terms entered, click OK. Further supplier defaults can be applied. To do this, from the Settings menu, click Supplier Defaults. Only the fields in the Record tab apply to creating new supplier records. In the Defaults section, set the country that applies to most of your suppliers by clicking the drop-down and selecting the required country. For example, if most of your suppliers are in the Republic of Ireland, click Ireland. Alternatively, if most of your suppliers are in the UK, click United Kingdom. The default currency for your suppliers is the same as was selected when your company was first created. This can only be amended for your supplier records if the foreign trader feature is enabled. Standard tax code is the VAT code most associated with your purchases. If your purchases are normally standard rated for VAT, click on the drop-down and select T1. If you're not VAT registered, select T9 instead, so the VAT value is not separated from your purchase figures. The default nominal code is the nominal code that's applied by default to new supplier records. To change this, click the drop-down and select the required nominal code. If you'd like to assign your suppliers to departments, from the drop-down, select the required department that most of your suppliers will be assigned to. Departments can be managed by selecting the Departments module from the navigation bar. If you're going to trade with suppliers internationally, defaulting columns can be applied to the supplier record, confirming who is responsible for paying for shipment, insurance, and other activities. To assign defaulting columns, click the drop-down and select from the options provided. The default field contains the account status that will be assigned to each new supplier record. It defaults to 0 open, but can be changed if required. For example, you can set a default status of 8 new to automatically apply to any new supplier records created. After a certain time has passed, the status can be updated in the supplier record if required. If you agree terms with your suppliers before you start trading with them, to automatically set the terms agreed flag for any new supplier records, select this checkbox. Alternatively, to set the terms agreed flag on new supplier records manually, leave this unchecked. Once you're happy with the defaults applied, click OK. You have now learned how to set defaults for any new supplier records created in Sage 50 accounts.